There is a new sex survey out, and yeah, you are a sexual deviant, you freak. That's right. There is a lot of stuff going on here. The Journal of Sexual Medicine published some interesting findings, and we've got some of them for you right here. So researchers from the University of Montreal presented 799 men and 718 women. I'm always curious where they come up with those numbers. 85% of whom identified as heterosexual, 4% homosexual, and 11% somewhere in between. So this is a lot of bi people, I guess, with a long list of statements regarding fantasy scenarios, asking them to rate their agreement with each on a scale of 1 to 7. Anything rated over 3 was counted as a fantasy, and let's look at the results. Okay, so men are in green, females are in blue. Pretty much equal on the group sex. Everybody's sort of feeling group sex equally. Not a ton of people are into it, but everyone kind of likes it. Females, now in a certain spot. We had a little debate.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
What does that mean? Location.
That means a location, not a certain spot of the body.
But did they say, do you like having sex in a certain spot? Or were they like, do you like having sex, on the couch? Or did they mention this?
Well, Whitney, I actually have an answer for you because they did ask them, they wanted to know if it was a specific location. They didn't ask them which location it was, whether it was an airport or something of that nature, but they just, where they wanted to have in a specific spot. Let's look back. With a stranger. So females want to have sex with a stranger. So we're just going to plow through this, no pun intended, and then we'll come back. And now here's the fascinating one. Males, a lot of males are fantasizing about having anal, not just having it.
Receiving it.
Receiving anal.
This is something I would like men to pay attention to currently because this graph here, because this just shows that men think that anal sex is a good thing to have. So I would just like to show that based on that small chunk of blue, women don't agree.
Women
don't usually agree.
The anal, you're giving us a real interesting view into your sex life. And finally, as far as receiving oral sex, men do think about that a lot. They also think about anal, but they do think about receiving oral a lot. Women think about receiving oral less. Okay, so
that's disappointing.
There's some interesting stuff there. Does anything, I guess the anal sex thing, the men receiving anal sex, that seems to be the one that's surprising us. Is that the one? That's the big one out of there?
I mean, I'm personally not really surprised by that myself based on past occupations I've had to see this. But I think that
You literally have had occupations that might, we don't have to get into
we
details.
We don't have to get into it. Go ahead and Google, no, don't Google me, you won't find it, it's hidden deep. I mean, I don't know if it's surprising. I want to see like the other really surprising, like was there anything on there that was like real shocking? I looked over the graph and I wanted to see if there was like huge discrepancies between like men and women on things, and there was nothing like super surprising. I feel like everybody's kind of right. Did you think?
I mean, the sex with a stranger part was a little interesting
about
to me.
The women being hard?
What do you make of that? So women want to have sex.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
It's a lesbian theory.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It makes me seem like one of those staunch Bay Area lesbians, now that I live in the Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like maybe they're like fantasizing about having sex with people that are not their husbands, that are satisfying them.
Okay, so I mean, I don't even know that that's a lesbian theory. I think that's just like a pretty
women theory. I just feel like people blame it on the fact that I'm a lesbian when they hear it. They're like, oh, she's just one of those guys.
No,
but
it's a stranger. It's a thing. Like I can get it. Like if you're in a relationship and you're fantasizing about Joe Smith from work or like ex celebrity, but to say like a stranger, that's just a little bit like really.
Well, because you're creating like somebody that's like really like fulfilling all of your fantasies.
Is this thing just basically a sort of condemnation of straight men? That's what it seems to be, right? Because straight men are very afraid of doing anything with their butt.
Yeah.
That's one thing. And this thing about the women wanting to have sex with strangers, it's sort of like, because there is just straight guys are just kind of boring, and I'm going to get a lot of hate in the YouTube, in the comment section. I know it's coming. But that women are just like looking at the guy that they're with, and they're like, this guy is so boring and so out of shape, and so that I would like to have sex with a perfect stranger. That would do it more than even just fantasizing about the guy that I work with.
I think what's happening here is people need to look at this and have an open conversation about the fact that maybe women just need to start having anal sex with men as the top. That could be satisfying all the way around. Men will be happy, women will probably be happy because they're getting something out of it finally, whether it be like a power struggle.
Yeah. Jaclyn,
Think
do
about it,
you
women.
want to have sex in a bizarre place? Is there a place?
Are you offering?
Maybe we'll see. You know.
I mean, sure. That sounds like fun. I mean, like I'm open to certain things.
Yeah, I mean, did any of this jibe with what your thought process is?
Some of it, but like the stranger thing does not sound like fun to me.
That doesn't.
No.
I wonder if stranger is really just people when they ask that. If people are just thinking someone other than my significant other that I'm with in an intimate setting.
That makes more sense. But it did say stranger, so I don't. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, like I like this whole article because like I feel like people are so scared to talk about sex. You know, like they're so uptight about it, and especially like the women and stuff that they were interviewing. Giving these answers and stuff, and even though I personally don't jive with the whole stranger thing, like. If that's something that turns on other women, good for you. Talk about it. Be open about it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what people are going to call you or if people are going to judge you. Be open about it. People are so afraid to talk about sex.
I agree. Don't we need more? I mean, even this little 4-minute discussion that we're having. Don't we need more of this on TV? Like you see all these people. I always think this when I'm watching like election coverage last night, and you're watching like these 20 people that all their political opinions, but like at the end of the day, does
sexual habits?
But like at the end of the day, does Wolf Blitzer want to be tied up and peed on?
I want to know that I would vote more clearly. I would vote, with more faith if I knew their sexual practices.
Yeah, or even listen to their political opinions. If I knew that Paul Begala wants, give me something good here.
Golden showers in the bathtub. I don't know. Good.
We both went to pee, which is
that's where
makes you wonder.
TMI about you guys. But I mean, politics and politicians have been interested in what goes on in the bedroom for a long time. So about time we start talking about it. Yeah.
Final thought on this: have you ever encountered anyone that wanted to do something really freaky sexual that it just blew your mind? You were like, I can't be part of this. Oh, you've got something.
I mean, I may or may not have briefly dated someone who was far more interested in my feet than I would have liked, and that it was a little strange, but that ended very quickly, so it's okay.
Got it.